Hello, this is Dan Marr. I've been an attorney at Hamlin Carrigan for 35 years, 36 years when you include the 1 year I was with the clerkship, so I've been practicing in New Hampshire for 36 years. I had a clerkship with the Superior Courts for a year before coming here, and I do a lot of real estate matters, including real estate litigation. And right now I'm just going to, on this vlog, I'm going to talk about the concentrated issue of, all right, I waived my homeowner inspection. So I didn't find this out through a homeowner inspection and a purchase sale, and this is happening a lot in purchase sale agreements. To be competitive, people are waiving their home inspections just like they're waiving their financing contingencies. And then I find out there's something wrong, and the seller must have known that there was something wrong. What do? You do have remedies there. You've closed on the property, then you find out perhaps that there was a room that was not permitted. The basement was done without any permits, and now that you have the building inspector in there for something else, they find out that, and they say there are some consequences of you having to rip out some of the plumbing and some of the electricity to deal with some of the issues of getting it permitted after the fact. They know that you're not at fault, but they still want to make sure that the fire and safety codes are there. The town wants to, or the city wants to make sure that they meet their obligations to make sure those building codes are enforced. And if somebody was doing it without permits, they may not be up to code. So that type of argument is there. That's something that's expensive. Maybe there's a well problem that they've had consistently and they didn't disclose that. I've had that situation. They might have other issues with the property. I had a property where the whole upstairs, which was renovated, they didn't have any heating up there. They didn't set up the heating. So there's no vents, and they didn't catch that, and there wasn't any heating. That's a very expensive fix. Well, there's this, in the purchase and sale agreements, your standard real estate purchase and sale agreements from the New Hampshire Realtors Association, there's a rectangle where you sign off that you've gotten the seller's disclosure. There's a seller's disclosure that the brokers have everyone sign for a listing, and it goes through, and the seller goes through and is supposed to the best of their knowledge and belief, disclose what's going on. Were there any, and one of the questions is, by way of example, was there any water damages? Was there any building work done that wasn't with any permits? Any of these types of things. It's quite an expansive list. And if they say no, and the answer is yes, and you can prove that they did know, they actually knew the answer was yes when they answered no, then you have a claim for fraud against them. So you can go after them for misrepresentation, and I've done that before against individuals who, even though there was a waived inspection, and maybe the inspection would have found this, by way of example, obviously a good inspector would have gone upstairs and noticed there wasn't any vents around for the HVAC system upstairs. That type of, and that would be something that you could still proceed forward against the seller for. And also, I can tell you on a side note too, the inspectors aren't going to be able to find out whether or not something's permitted. They're not looking through to go through the town records to find out if something's permitted. You'll see in the inspection critiques of what they do, they don't do that. So there are certain things that the seller can do, that the seller can misrepresent in the seller disclosure form, and yes, you have an action against them for that. And I've proceeded forward with those actions. I've defended actions too where the seller didn't have knowledge because it was maybe one or two sellers removed that made the claims. So it's all fact intense, and sometimes it's worth litigating over, or at least having a good discussion with exchange of some lawyer letters to see if you can settle a case out of court. I'm here at Hamlin Carrigan, happy to help. I'm at 603-883-5501. That's 603-883-5501. Or you can contact us at hamker.com. That's hamker.com. Look forward to talking to you.